And we back with another one. I want to talk about the moon a little bit, where the moon is today. The moon is in Aries today. And it is conjuncting Saturn, which is asking us to come into some emotional maturity. How can we really challenge ourselves as far as our emotional maturity and our emotional growth and our emotional understanding, our own understanding of our own emotions and what they mean and how they feel, and how to dive a little deeper into how you're feeling. So instead of sad, like, what are you actually feeling? You know what I mean? And also discipline, okay? Also emotional discipline. So that means not going off of first instinct or impulse or just straight up passion and desire. Taking a beat, you know? Saturn wants us to take a beat and process all of the lessons we have learned and integrate them. Apply them to this moment. Do not forget the lessons that you have already learned, because that's how we end up in situations that feel like insanity. We're repeating the cycle, right? I also want to talk about transmutation, transmuting energy, alchemizing the energy, shifting energy, changing your energy, using the energy that you have and then alchemizing it for your greatest and highest good. For example, if somebody sends you bad energy, bad vibes, you go into Dunkin' Donuts, you've already ordered your coffee, you're just going to pick up, and you catch an attitude. You catch an attitude from somebody in the place. And what I mean by you catch an attitude is somebody gives you an attitude and now you catch the vibe. Like, now that has put a damper on your mood. That has now affected your mood. And instead of allowing that negative energy to penetrate your energy like that, you need to be prepared to transmute the energy and hit them with a God bless you, and walk out unbothered, unshifted, and actually from that transmutation, feeling even better, feeling even more energetic. When you handle something like, well, that makes you feel good. So now you're feeling even better. When you could have walked out feeling even worse. We have the Nine of Wands coming out in reverse. Boundaries. We need to have boundaries. I think that comes with the emotional maturity and the discipline. Like, how do we begin to implement discipline in our emotional bodies, in our emotional life, in our emotional experience? I think through boundaries, because my belief is that when we set boundaries, the boundaries are for ourselves. We're setting boundaries for ourselves, not other people. So if you're trying to set boundaries for an ex who will not stop calling and you would like them to stop calling, the boundary that you communicate to them is, I will no longer be answering your calls. There's no reason for you to call me any longer. I will no longer be answering your calls. And then to enforce that boundary is not for them not to call you, because we don't have control over other people and we don't want control over other people. We want to be in harmony and in union with ourselves. We want to be inside of our full autonomy as human beings and in bodies, right? So that looks like you not answering the phone. You not answering the phone. You could block them, you could do whatever. If the boundary that you're setting is, I'm no longer going to be in workplaces where I am not valued. The boundary that you're setting is for yourself. So you cannot, if you find yourself in a work situation where you know that you're being undervalued, it is then, in order to implement that boundary and stand 10 toes down on that boundary, you must leave. You must leave. You must not expect anybody to change. You can communicate what those boundaries are and why you can't be here any longer and why you'll need to leave and under what circumstances you can come back. Things like that you can communicate, but the action part of it is up to you. So Nine of Wands, respect your own boundaries. Sometimes we feel like, oh, boundaries don't work because people don't respect boundaries. You respect your boundaries. Nine of Wands is somebody who is in a cycle of insanity. Like, you have been here before. You have gone through this before. You know exactly how it feels. And sometimes we try to convince ourselves that this is different, that this time is different. But you have not changed at all. You have not put up one boundary. You have not enforced any of these lessons. You have not integrated any of these lessons fully. Like, you learned it in the moment, but it has not been integrated because for some reason it's the lesson has lost. Is lost. It's gotten so far away from us. Yeah. King of Swords. So we just have to speak up. It's really about communicating. And we need to communicate on all fronts, not just to other people, but we need to be in communication with ourselves. What does that look like? Oh my God, it looks like so many things. In our meditations, it's not only a point of stillness and silence and oneness and nothingness and releasing everything. We do all of that work to drop our thoughts, to release everything, to want for nothing, and to just be, so that we can meet our true self, so that we can get to the frequency of our Christ consciousness, so that we can then be there and communicate, be there and listen, be there and contemplate. A big part of meditation that we skip out on is the contemplation. It's once you get to the point of this euphoric state where you understand that you are spirit, that you are God, that you are Christ consciousness, that you are really just energy. And once you get to that understanding of yourself, then you can really, now we can talk. Now you can really look at yourself. And there's a point where you are just looking at yourself and yourself is looking back at you, and all of the reflection and the projection and whatever needs to come up, it starts to come up. So I want y'all to sit in meditation just for one moment longer to really reach that transformation, that transformative state. Where we transcend and transmute. We transmute the energy. We transmute all of the energy that is keeping us from ourselves. And once we get to the point of total transmutation, oneness, a lot of people describe it as like a euphoria. It's a euphoric state. You'll feel it. That is when you can get to business. That is when the deep listening must happen. That is when the contemplation must happen. That is when the healing takes place. That is where the healing begins. We have Page of Cups in reverse. Something about our desires, something about the fun, I'm looking at laughter and skipping and playing. Childlike, but like not. Because we all have a child. We'll never not be a child. We'll always have a child part of us. And our child self will always live in us. So I think that we need to like revisit, not necessarily because we're talking about maturity, right? Emotional maturity. But emotional maturity is that understanding that there's still a child within you that you are responsible to, that is still living within you, okay? Some of our child selves are asking us to, do the things that they always dreamed of and say the things that they've always wanted to say, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We have to show up. Our childlike self is encouraging us to look at the little things. Somebody is chasing something big. Somebody is chasing something big for this to arrive at the same feeling of like just pure joy and giddiness and like fun and freedom. This type of carefree, liberatory laughter and frolic of life, And that looks big. That seems big. And so we're chasing something really big to get this like small, genuine feeling that doesn't take all of that to get. And I want to reel you in a little bit. I want to reel you in and take your focus to the little things, to the things that we look past that can bring about these feelings, not in just like this big moment, but in our everyday. We're missing out on the fluff and the joy and the pleasure of our everyday. And that is what I was trying to say for the past 5 minutes. And that's why we so pent up. That's why we so pent up. And that's why we are so willing to give away our boundaries, to not to give away, to bypass. We're so quick to bypass our boundaries because it's like we're giving up a boundary in return to get this feeling of just fun. Really, it's really just fun, pure fun. Like if we had to take pure fun and put it in energy, that is what we're chasing. And we're giving up so much. We're giving up so much to catch on to a small feeling that is all around us every day and requires us to never bypass our boundaries or to water down our worth. We're doing big things for, it's like a scam. This is a scam. You're paying such a high price for something that is free. There we go. You're paying a high price for something that is free. Going back to emotional maturity and discipline. I think that with the eyes that you're looking through now, it's hard to realize and recognize the small ways. And when I say small, I mean it's small as in easy to grasp, not small as in size. It's abundant in size, but it is easy to grasp. You don't have to wait your whole life. You don't have to give up everything, okay? You don't have to work your whole life to be in this experience of pure fun and like childlike curiosity and just freedom to explore. But we have to do this inside of that emotional maturity, because speaking about Aries, when the Aries energy does get into this like curious, childlike, I just want to be free state, it could be very impulsive. It could lack a lot of discipline, and it could lack a lot of emotion. And so to bring this all into perspective, into harmony, and to transmute that type of erratic energy into a high frequency is through this emotional maturity. How do we build our emotional maturity? Contemplation, looking at yourself, being with yourself, knowing your instincts, knowing your impulses, and deciding how you want to govern yourself. And that is through your boundaries. We have 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is saying a lot. It's saying a lot. Like a thief in the night. Like a thief in the night. Also, 7 of Swords just simply tells me you win some, you lose some. But with the wins, what do you do with the wins? Okay? And how do you recover your losses? What do we do with the wins? And how do we recover our losses? What do you do with what you got to make up for what you don't have? Ooh, that's a word. That's a word. What do you do with what you got to make up for what you don't? That's another transmutation right there. That's another way to transmute. Now I'm thinking about hoodoo. Hoodoo is the practice of using exactly what you have to make something shake, honey. Make it shake, all right? That I'm always going to be able to stand behind, because I believe that we all have exactly what we need. We just need to know how to activate it. We need to know how to transmute what is no longer serving us, and we need to learn how to amplify and activate all of the gifts, talents, and abilities that we do have. Will I ever stop preaching about our natural gifts, talents, and abilities? Probably not. Probably never. 5 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, we're in imaginary competition. Some of y'all are y'all are creating competition with people because you are not ready to compete with all of what you already got going on. You are not ready to compete with all of what you already got going on. 6 of Swords in reverse. So we just went from the 7 of Swords upright to the 5 and the 6 of Swords and Wands in reverse. So we're moving backwards. We're moving backwards. When we put too much attention on what we don't have, we start to retract. We start to move backwards. We start to step down the timeline. Some of you are paying too much attention to what you don't have, because even in this visual here, she's walking away with 5 swords, and she's still looking back at those 2, and those 2 probably don't even serve her. Everything behind her is behind her, but she's still looking back. She got what she got, but she's still looking back, and she look good too, right? She look good. Cute little outfit, heels. Come on now. That is the message. If we continue, this is the whole reason why I even came to this situation, to you all, to the collective, wanting to talk about transmutation. Your focus is on what you don't have. Okay, we have acknowledged that. It's taken up a lot of space. How do we continue, since we're already looking there, how do we look at what we don't have and use that energy of lack? How do we transmute the energy of a lack mentality, of a scarcity mindset, to abundance, to abundance? How do you reclaim what you don't have by using what you do have? And I'm not saying using what she has in her hands, which are the swords. Who's holding the swords? How'd you get those? I'm guessing she picked them up with her hands, okay? Already magic, okay? Using the body to get what you have. Continue in that sense. Use the body to get what you want. Use your energy. Start to visualize these things that you're looking back at. Since we're there, since we're looking back, start to visualize these things in your hands. Start to visualize these things as yours. Start to transmute whatever you're looking back at times 10. Start to judge it up a little bit. Make it how you want to make it. You know what I mean? What you're looking at is just like a blueprint. It's not. When you're in an abundance mindset, you have to know that it could be better. It could be better than that. It could be bigger than that. You know what I mean? So we really need to start transmuting the energy, because this is what's happening. You're looking back, but the vibes that are energizing and alchemizing in your body when you're looking back is that of hate, is that of jealousy, is that of lack, is that, these are all bad vibrations. We don't want none of that. None of that type of energy is serving us. None of that type of energy is serving us. So when we look back at it, number one, don't look back. Okay? But I'm talking to you who can't resist. Some of y'all are like, I can't, I'm so churned up about it. I'm trying to use safe words here, okay? It really got me effed up, okay? I'm so upset. Let's do some magic here then. Let's do some magic here. Call it all back to you. Call it all back and more. Allow it to give you vision. Allow it to give you vision. Allow it to give you hope for a future. Allow it to remind you of where you're not going back. Allow it to be empowering. Allow it to amp you up, to hype you up, to motivate you to moving forward, into shifting your position. Really, transmutation is all about shifting, moving it around. Like, the energy is not, you're not throwing any of it away. You're shifting it, you're moving it. Like, if you're a cook and you have put in, you made something, it don't taste right, you keep on shifting some things, adding some things until it gets right, until it tastes right, until it feels right, until it smells right. We got to do some of that. And I know when you're cooking, there's something about, like, you can't take anything out. You can't take anything away. That's something to think about. Some of y'all be trying to send that energy back to sender. What is it? Send back to sender? Yeah, I think that's what it is. You can't, it's already here. It's already here. Why send it back? Why send it back so that they have more energy? No, use that energy. Shift it. Move it around. Let's pray. Mother, God, Father, Son, Divine Holy Spirit, ancestors who are ready to be ancestralized, my benevolent angels, soul guides, spirit tribe, thank you so much for deep breath. Thank you for your example of unconditional love. Thank you for the power to manifest exactly what we desire. I pray that the collective takes this information, that they integrate it, and that they use it to guide them toward deeper introspection. Ashe, amen, aho. Okay, we're going to dip into some love vibes. I'm going to keep this spread out to allow it to keep talking to us, but I'm going to pull one of these romance angel cards that we love. I heard these are like super expensive now and very hard to find, so glad I have them. Ooh, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Who's resonating with that? And when I say engagement, it just means the next level of commitment. So if you're not in a relationship right now, then I see love coming towards you. If you are in a relationship right now, I think you're going to take it to the next level. Maybe start having those conversations. Maybe getting engaged. Maybe some folks are getting married. Maybe some folks are recommitting, reconnecting. Anything could happen. But your love level is going to another level of commitment. So, your love life. So we're going to come back to this emotional maturity that we were talking about. Emotional maturity and discipline is at play in your romantic relationships, and it is at play as a test of ascension. And now, while some of you may ascend and not be ready for that next level of commitment, emotional maturity and discipline is going to be at play in your relationships, period. And we already know how relationships go. It's a direct reflection and projection of us. Relationships are places where we learn lessons. It's unions where we learn lessons. They're unions that are meant to uplift us, to teach us, to allow us to see ourselves in ways that we don't. So with that being said, while we are moving up, while we're ascending in our commitments, do we understand anytime you move up, it's like a next level of maturity. Like you're growing. We're always supposed to be getting more and more mature. We're getting older in age. Every time you graduate, you go from elementary school to middle school to high school to college. Like, you are supposed to be growing in maturity, right? I want some of you who are so desperate for that next level of commitment to take a beat, to take a step, to stop, hold off, and check in with the emotional maturity of your relationship, the emotional health of your relationship. Has your partner met you emotionally yet? And why? Then why? Because I hear some of you say no. We can just take it back to the first card. Then why are you willing to give up your boundaries for commitment? Those two, it's like you want to pay $5,000 for a blow pop ring. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Some of us are willing to give it up. Some of us are willing to just give it all up. Not me. I want you to think about how you can transmute the energy right now, for your good. And don't be giving it up for nothing. Come on now. It's 2025. It's 2025. All right, y'all. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe and leave me a comment. Did I say that? Leave me a comment. I must really... Somebody leave me a comment. Somebody leave me a comment.